Hey, what's crackin'? This is the ASM Hydrasynth. Alright, let's get on with the quick review. The Hydrasynth is a fantastic and relatively new unashamedly digital synthesizer. It currently comes in 4 different versions. The version I have here is the desktop, which was released concurrently with its brother and sonic doppelganger, the original Hydrasynth, also called the Hydrasynth Keys. There is also the souped-up Hydrasynth Deluxe, with a giant keyboard and more features, and a stripped-down and portable Hydrasynth Explorer. All have polyphonic aftertouch, with the desktop using that functionality on its pads. Competitively priced and very unique sounding, these synthesizers are a fantastic addition to the modern synth world, and a must-have for anyone who wants a digital synth with an easy workflow and plenty of unique features. That was pretty good! Alright, so now let's get into kind of a brief feature overview here. So looking at the Hydrasynth dead on, we have 8 different programmable macros here for on-the-fly tweaking of parameters. You can select what you want these different knobs to do by selecting the modules in this matrix over here. So for example, I just went into oscillator 1, and here are all of my oscillator 1 controls. So we have the mode, the waveform, the coarse pitch, the fine tune, and the key track amount. We also have an arpeggiator, some quick filter controls. Actually, we have 2 filters, which is really neat. We have tons of presets. We have the aforementioned pads with polyphonic aftertouch, which is really awesome. And we have some handy dandy semi-modular compatibility with CV and gate inputs and outputs, which is awesome. What I like about this synth, like right away before going into anything else, is I was kind of scared to pick this up because I'm generally not a digital synth guy, just because there's a lot of menu diving, and I'm really more of a one knob per function guy. But I think they've really executed this well, where you get to choose the section that you want to control, and then all of the controls you need are at your fingertips. I also like that they added a dedicated little, even if it's only 3 knobs, little filter section, so that if you wanted to, you could dive in and get more filter options. But if you were kind of doing some live stuff and you were tweaking the filter and the oscillators or something else at the same time, you could do that. I think that's a great added touch. The knobs feel super solid. The buttons feel absolutely great. I love the little OLED display here that shows you what preset you're in, the waveform that you're making at the moment. It's really dope. I think it's really awesome to see a visualization of the envelopes. I think that's really awesome to be able to see what you're doing in real time. So you can see like, oh, I'm making, you know, this. That's like super dope right there. I love that. And I'm not even gonna be able to go over all of the features in this synthesizer. It's so deep, yet you have such a level of control that it feels like it's all right at your fingertips. There's nothing surface level about the synthesizer, yet it's all so accessible without any menu diving whatsoever. So one thing I wanted to address while we're looking at like the actual physical synthesizer, the ports on the back are recessed, which is kind of an issue if you're trying to reach, because the power switch is also under there. It looks really great for cable clutter, but just the fact that it's recessed makes it a little bit hard to actually like work with cables in there. So just a really minor thing. I've seen it in other reviews, just wanted to bring that up real quick. But we have plenty of ins and outs here. We have stereo output and also some pedal connectors, some MIDI, USB, power cable, Kensington lock, and a power switch. So what you heard in the intro was a preset that I made with some deadmau5 MIDI going into it. So let's go through some presets and see what sounds good on this thing. I think it's gonna be everything sounds good. All right, so I have my micro key Air hooked up here, and we're just gonna play through some presets. So let's start out with preset number 1. That's what I built my preset off of. So that's with this little key bed here. We can also go in and use the keypads, which is a lot more interesting because they have aftertouch. So that's a pretty cool preset. Let's dive into the next one. I'm not going to go through every single one. I just kind of want to give you an idea of what this thing does. So that was kind of cool. I was just messing around with the LFO there, getting some cool, almost like FM style stuff going on that. Let's see what happens if we add a Valhalla Supermassive on top of that and disable the onboard effects. All right, so we have Supermassive set to kind of a reverby kind of deal. Let's set completely dry on these guys and see what we get. Sounds pretty good with some reverb on it. Let's try out another preset here. That's pretty cool. That resonance is very nice. I'm a big fan of just crazy resonance on stuff. I usually find that digital stuff doesn't do it too well, but I am very satisfied by this. Actually, it's a little bit steppy, which is to be expected from something digital, but actually through like a reverb delay plugin, that actually sounds gigantic. That sounds absolutely awesome. All right, let's kick out the reverb here and try another preset, maybe some kind of like chord deal. That sounds awesome. That was just with built-in effects as well, like the reverb and delay. That sounds awesome. Let's try out the onboard arpeggiator. Maybe let's get some kind of like little pluck kind of deal going and get the arpeggiator working. There we go. That's a nice little... Alright, so I think that just about does it for my review of this beautiful little synthesizer. I think it's great. It makes excellent sounds. The fact that you can access so many parameters without having to menu dive in a digital synth is huge. I think that's something more synth companies, especially digital ones, need to take note of. And it can make some really unique sounds. I'm honestly tired of seeing all of these virtual analog synthesizers. I really enjoyed seeing something that makes unique and different sounds, and something that is unashamedly digital, something that's not trying to be anything, something that's really just a good digital synthesizer. I think the build quality is great. I think the fact that there are several different versions is great. The desktop is not personally the version for me. I'm really interested in trying to get my hands on the Hydrasynth original, the keys, because that has the polyphonic aftertouch keyboard. I think the deluxe is a little too big and overkill for me. I already have a Prologue, so I don't really need that kind of power. But yeah, just excellent sound, excellent build quality. I think the thing looks great. It feels great to use. I think that's a big thing for me, is just getting it to feel good to use, to make it an inspiring thing. I think if it doesn't feel good to use, then you can't really make anything with it, because you can't generate ideas. And this does this very well. It feels like a real instrument, and it does an absolutely fantastic job of exactly what it's supposed to do. And again, thank you so much to Metro Gnome Music for lending me this synthesizer to make a review demo video about. Without them, that would not be possible. If you want to buy this exact synthesizer, like this one right here, you can go to metronome-music.com and throw it in your cart and check out, or you can go to their Reverb shop. Any business is much appreciated, small business, really great, fantastic people over there. And again, yeah, super appreciative for this opportunity to review this synthesizer. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope this was helpful or entertaining or interesting to you. I'll see you guys in the next review. And until then, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you then. Peace.